You're welcome, darling. I sound like my dad now. Oh, it's so strange to be in an airport. I mean, to come to the airport without my dad. I guess I have to come here by myself now if I want to go to Japan. Arrivals. My dad always used to wait for me here when I came back from Japan. It's my first time coming to the airport without my dad. He always used to drop me off when I went to Japan. Now I have to take the train like a peasant.
Oh my goodness. No. The 6th of February. You know what happened on the 6th of February? Well, I'm not going to tell you again, but I can't believe the sausages expired on the exact same day that my dad passed away. It's so sad because I remember my dad telling me about this new cooker he bought last year. Sometime last year, he sent me a message saying, "We just bought a new fancy cooker. It's an induction cooker." And I said, "Oh, that's interesting. Never thought I'd be back here using it." But first, I want to show you this bridge that my dad built. It's a very nice bridge. He painted it red. Originally, it was green, but he painted it red so it stands out a bit more. There used to be a horrible, ugly bridge before that my granddad built, and it was all falling apart. And my dad put this here. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? We all thought my dad was going to get better. So I thought I was going to go back to Japan and then come back here in a few months' time after my dad recovered so I could see him. But unfortunately, things took a turn for the worst and he didn't survive. One of my main regrets of last year was that I barely got to see my dad, and I didn't even get to see my cat Toffee at all. And at first, I thought I wouldn't care about not being able to see my family or my cats. But then I started to realise that I kind of feel bad now that I've lost one of my parents. I feel bad that I didn't spend more time with him. And that's my computer. It's pretty good. I built it myself. Well, actually, me and my dad built it. I built most of it, but my dad helped out a little bit. That's not true. My dad built most of it and I helped out a little bit. I don't really want to talk to people. You know, I don't really want to make small talk or have chit-chats after going to my dad's funeral. Thank you very much. My mum went up to the coffin, put her hand onto it. It was a very emotional, sad thing to see. Yeah, it's just so strange that my dad was in that wooden box. It's weird, isn't it? 1 minute you're walking around, talking, eating, laughing, enjoying life, and then 4 weeks later you're in a box. Life sucks. It's a little bit shocking that she would even do this because, well, if she's successful and she manages to get me to pay the compensation fee for cheating, then I would have to use the inheritance money that I'm going to get from my dad. I don't know how much I would have to pay. If it's in the thousands, then that's not too much of a big deal. But if it's tens of thousands, then I'm going to have to use my dad's inheritance money. And I think that's kind of shocking that she would force me to use the money that was left by my dad that was supposed to be left to me. After all the things my family did for her, paid for a trip to Malaysia for her, where she didn't have to pay a penny. She stayed in really nice hotels, paid for a trip to England over Christmas for her, planes, food, stayed here for free. She didn't have to pay a penny. And now my dad passed away, and then she's trying to get my dad's inheritance money. I remember when I first started to drink beer, my dad would sometimes have a glass of beer, and then I would steal a sneaky sip from his glass, and kind of enjoyed the taste. It was nice and bitter. 2009, so now it's 2019. Hasn't quite been 10 years yet. It's been about 9 years, and half of another year. And at the time I was working at my dad's company. I was an office junior helping out with things. I was also kind of like an assistant to my dad. I would help him do his job as well. And I was trying to save up money so I could go to Japan and finally meet Sayaka.
she dumped me, what am I gonna do? My mum didn't really care, she just said, oh, already. So I gave up trying to get sympathy from my mum. I went back up to my room, and then my dad finally came home and he asked me what was wrong. And I just started crying in front of my dad for the first time ever. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he tried to comfort me. It was really awkward. And I just started sobbing like a complete loser. I was crying, saying, Sayaka dumped me. She said she found someone new and she doesn't want to be with me anymore. I can't believe it, Dad. It's kind of embarrassing now I think about it. But it was the first time I ever talked to my dad about girls and relationships, and I kind of felt like it brought us closer together. I started asking my dad about his experiences with girls. He didn't have much experience, to be honest. He started telling me about this one girl he fancied, but she basically ignored him and wasn't interested in him. I've never really taken care of anything. Either my dad took care of it or someone else did. For example, who do you think took care of all the paperwork for my dad after he passed? Who do you think took care of all of the inheritance stuff and the funeral stuff and arranging this and arranging that and phoning up banks? Do you think it was me? No, it wasn't me. It was my sister. My sister did pretty much everything. I've been waiting for my new passport to come, and it finally came. My old one expired. Got my old one about 10 years ago with my dad. He took me to the photo shop, helped me get it all sorted out. This is the first time I ever had to get my own passport sorted out, so that was quite exciting. Well, it wasn't really exciting. Dad passing away was obviously a big shock to me, and it was very hard for me to accept. And I didn't want to leave my family home, didn't want to leave here, and the idea of going back to Japan and being so far away from my family and far away from here was something I wasn't really ready for. I wanted to stay here because I just felt more spiritually connected to my dad. This is like the last remnants, the last physical remnants of my dad's existence. You know, he did everything. Everything you see in this room was all done by my dad. The carpet, he laid it. The wall, the paint on the wall, he painted it. The skirting board, he put it up there. The curtains, the windows, the heating, the doors, every single thing, even those mirrors, he put them there for me. This closet, everything you see right here was built or done by my dad. And I just wanted to stay here, you know, so I could feel closer to him now that he's gone. This is the only place that I could be where I can feel close to him now he's gone. Even looking outside, all those plants, he planted them. These gardens, he maintained them. Those hedges, he used to trim them. And I just wanted to be here. The saddest room in the entire house. It's the only room that's unfinished. As you can see, it's yellow and purple. My granddad thought it would be a good colour scheme, yellow and purple. It's just kind of sad because my dad would have wanted to finish this room. All of the other rooms are pretty much completed now. And here we have lots of photographs, pictures of the house. Oh look, it's my grandmother. Oh look, there's a picture of us bowling. That's me, looking not very impressed. It's me, my sister, my dad, on some kind of boat. That's my dad and my grandmother. They're both gone now. Photographs are so depressing to look at. I just had multiple browsers running in the background, auto-playing these videos on multiple accounts, just racking up points. I made a couple £100 every month doing this. My dad wasn't really happy about it. One time we had this big argument. He came home and he had this big go at me. He said, "I'm fed up of working really hard all day long, whilst you just sit here all day making 50p an hour." I was pretty upset because he wasn't being very supportive of my dreams to somehow make money on the internet. The first time we went back to England, my dad packed her stuff for her. Didn't he? You packed your stuff and then my dad unpacked it and then repacked it.
Your dad.
My bad. My dad
Your dad
packed it for you.
my luggage before. He was really kind and a gentle